And I'm taking that from you for a while now. Thank you so much for all the
Thank
sharings.
you. Actually, so thank you for being so patient. I was keep on.
I am. And everybody's listening to you. I'm sure they're all relating to what you're saying. And I'm
Yes,
taking
yes.
it
I think
over
most of
because
them.
yes, we are all at the same place. And believe me, when I say this, even I have been in that space. I've been in the space where I've thought that, okay, I am a dentist. I am a dentist. I am a drug safety officer. And yet I'm here today working with you guys to get you guys to content writing, because in my heart I believe that being a dentist, I can sometimes be in the clinic and sometimes not be in the clinic, whatsoever the reason is. Being a drug safety officer, sometimes I'm researching and sometimes I'm not, because of so many reasons. So many reasons. The world keeps changing. My priorities keep changing. There can be anything that is happening out there. At the same time, since my ninth standard till now, till from my ninth standard till today, content writing is one thing that has never changed for me. It has been like a spinal cord backbone to me, helping me at every time, being my passive income, active income, whatever I want to switch off to. Sometimes actively working for it, sometimes passively letting it pay for my bills, sometimes investing in it, sometimes training it, sometimes doing whatever I want with it. It has been like my best buddy, helped me, my family a lot to come out of many things, many situations. And that's the reason I'm very, very passionate about this. And when it happens about content writing, what I've been talking is what I got about it. But it's time to talk about what is the future of this content writing. When we say that we are going to be content writers, what's the kind of tomorrow that you can see from this? And I want to share that with you on behalf of Henry Harvin and on behalf of my own self, welcoming you to this entire industry so you understand what is it that is in store for you. Now, when we talk about your future, or we talk about what's going to be in future, this is a space where you are going to be able to develop a different approach towards writing, towards having your own book or writing for others as a ghostwriter, to be able to understand what's the difference between the past legendary authors and what is the contemporary authors doing. In a single sentence, if I say this, how is it that we have bestsellers every now and then at this moment? What are those authors doing differently than others? What exactly is that pitch point? What are the basics that they have to have? And what are the kind of channels, what's the kind of writings that gives engagement for the readers and they genuinely want to take your book? We are not talking about getting your book overnight bestseller on Amazon or something. We're talking about what is it that the readers get attracted to. We're going to have a lot of that, and you need to understand that when you're writing, it's not about only the blogs or about things. Please do not annotate on it. It will be very difficult for us to put in. You can use the chat instead of annotating on the script on the screen. Thank you so much. Okay, so you know what the exact what is it that we are looking forward in this PG program, right? Is that having that exposure of the basics, fundamentals, getting you ready at that point, and then exploring all the possibilities. What can happen with the authors? How can you become an author or help anybody else become the best-selling author? It's both ways of having your future, and it's a big future because everybody has a story they want to learn. They want that published. They want a way of earning out of their story. Everybody, there is like millions and millions of human beings out there, even kiddos right at this moment. So authorship is a big industry which is waiting for you guys to step in. I am not only talking about you becoming an author. You can, at the same time, you can help others become an author. This particular industry as a whole gives you also a future where you understand and develop your creative thinking and problem solving abilities. When I say that, why do I emphasize on it? Everybody has a creative mind. Everybody is a born talent. Yes, okay. But born natural talents are not controlled by you. It's not, it's an instinctive thing that happens with you. What needs to happen is that born talent needs to be developed in such a way that you can control it and you can take it to a way that you need it to go. Something that is going to be really helpful for you to come up with an ability to express yourself and earn from it in the way that your client wants you to. In this process, the client can be a project, the client can be a followers, it can be public, it can be anything. But the point is of you using your creative thinking to drive that force, towards not only writing something, but letting that writing earn for you, letting that writing give you money, give you fame, give you credibility, give you whatever you're looking ahead for, even respect. Now, problem solving abilities. Why? Because you, as a content writer, even if you're hired by an organization or you're a freelancer, you always have your own project and that's your own responsibility. You will have to understand which writing style will give you more money, which one would you need for your credibility, which one you can do when you're in a messed up situation, which one we can do when you're in a relaxed position. We will get through these through your PG program. You'll have an entire exposure to these where you will understand this. Now, as a homemaker or anybody here who is working at this moment with projects and stuffs, we have all of that in our heads. We can manage our projects, be it a sudden party at home or the boss asking for a new project. We have the abilities. We are just going to develop that, understand that, and use that in the writing skills that we have, in the writing styles and skills that we have. You will also be able to have the opportunity to consider your fellow writers' work as a part of this program, right? If you have any kind of projects which is already, you are working on it, you have a project line written, theses, whatever projects, you will have an opportunity to, kind of use that in your research work, and through this program use it as well. That's something that is also in stake for you. Now, what are the kind of stuffs that you can become, or what's the roles that you can be when you are doing this? When I'm saying this, not only one of it, you can become multiple of this, okay? And you can choose whichever window. You can be multiple of this. Let me tell you this, you can be multiple of this. You start with one and then you grow up to another one. I will do this the other way around. I won't put it like, I'll start with the I'm going to put in first. I'm going to talk about, I'm going to start from below here. Like, this is social media manager, is a very primitive content writing role that anybody can get through. Like, even during your PG project, you can start. To give you a hint of what this is, we will have a lot of conversation during the program. But to give you a hint of what this is, social media managers are people who work for social influencers, digital coaches, and professionals to help them create the post, the reels, the different kinds of exposures that influencer has, manages their social media calendar. You're well paid for it. You work behind them. Your name doesn't go, but you can always use that as having, you can work. I have seen people work for more than 10 people at one time also. And some people work only with 1 or 2 people, but get paid like regularly. This job is more about retaining your client and working on a long term with that client so that you have a trust and you build the brand for them, behind them. This is not your own branding. This is you won't look at, in this role, in social media manager, you won't look for having more followers yourself, but you will look at making influencers, the influencers that you're working for, giving them the opportunity to grow, to have more followers. You got to be off the camera or off in the backward. This is easy for many people who are not ready for digital presence as yet. You get overwhelmed with digital media, but you can write their content and you can give it up to them. You can post for them. So it's not your blog, it's not your stuff, but their stuff that you're working for. Very easy as a role and very primitive as a role. Next is medical writer. Now, medical writer, many people think that I'm not from the medical ground, what I'm going to do it about it. You don't need to be from the medical ground. You can have the basics during the course of medical writing, understanding medical writing, and you can then go about it. It's a very dedicated kind of job. Only very less people hire that. There's a stream of that going on. You can do it together with social media management. You can social media manage for somebody as well as you can write medical related writings for any individuals and go about it together as well. A content strategist is someone who just strategizes. Now, you may not be able to become a content strategist right away as a fresher, because the moment you start, you need to show your credibility as a writer in the social media or a manager or a blogger. You got to show it. You got to show that you have some work or your credibility to be able to strategize for someone. Now, you can use your own strategy that I have done this and I've won, or you can use something that you have done for a client and that you have done it. But you need that credibility to become a content strategist. But you can see this as a road to, taking yourself ahead. You start with social media management, you do medical writing a bit, or not do whatever. It gives good money. So it's good to have some exposure to that as well. Then you become a content strategist. And then you become a digital content writer or a PR content writer. Why do I say that? Because PR content writer is a public relation content writer. Now, these writers need to have a long-term strategy of doing something. If you are working with, for example, if you're working with a client who's an author who has been writing they have been writing a saga, one after the another book. You know that your client's first book was a flop. They did not earn. Now he is with you. He has 3 books in line that he wants to publish. You're getting in when he is at the second one. So now, what are you going to do in terms of public relationship for that author? What are the speaking opportunities, writing opportunities, signature opportunities? What are you going to do? What is the poster going to say? How is the poster going to be designed? And what is his social media presence going to say? Would be your job. That comes with an understanding of the strategy behind the content. Something that has been thought through, something is going as a pattern which will lead to something. It's like a funnel. It's like I getting this done, then this and this and this, and finally that objective of the content writing is achieved. It's not a one-timer thing. It's a group of things that happens for your client and for yourself. So you need to have an idea of content strategy before you go ahead and become a peer content writer. Digital influencer, you can yourself become a digital influencer. Can you become a digital influencer right away when you're in the PG? Yes, I have had students who have become digital influencers themselves during the PG sessions. Reason being, from day one, they were clear that they don't want to work for their client, but they want to themselves become a digital influencer who can then use their own blogs, their own presence in the digital media to earn money out of it. So you can start that as well, and you can develop yourself to that as well, whichever. Start it right away or develop yourselves towards it. Copywriter, ghostwriter would be something, both of them are something which requires you to go away from the streamline, earn the money. It's a very high earning job. You can get a lot of money, but zero exposure. You must never tell anybody when you're copywriting for anyone or when you're ghostwriting for anyone. Ghostwriter itself says that you're doing this on behalf of somebody else. The published work will give the author's name as someone else. You are under an agreement with them to earn money out of it, but can never ever say that you were the one who wrote it. Copywriter is a well-claimed job. It is an influencing job where you write, and because of your writing, someone buys the product. Not someone, but everyone buys that product. So you're basically responsible for influencing a decision of the public. And that's a very heavy duty job, and it's very well paid, but it's also a path. Like, it really goes along. The journey goes along. You cannot on day one start like, okay, I'm going to copyright the day one. Not at all possible. You need to go through the basics. You need to have an exposure of how this works, do this, do that, and see what happens. Look at it, share, understand the experiences of others, and then you can copyright. Even if you have a natural talent for a good punchline, it doesn't mean that you can influence the decision of the buyers, which is very important as a copywriter. Comes yourself as a famous blogger, you might as well. Famous blogger is important. We are all bloggers. We can write blogs. How to get the blog at the right position, in the right way, at the right time, for the right public, so that you become famous for it. How to maintain a streak of a line of a program that you're blogging about and not just go haywire everywhere. That's something that you're going to learn how to do it. We all know that we need to do it, but how to do it, how to actually put forth that kind of a thing is what we're looking ahead as a blogger here. You'll be looking ahead as a blogger. You can yourself be a published author, yes. You can have multiple blogs, you can have journals, you can have your own writings that you want to share with people. It can be fiction, non-fiction, whatever you're looking at. How to publish it, how to take care of publishing things, how to take care of post-publishing things, how to write something that is engaged by the readers. You're going to have a lot of those during each of the sessions, related sessions that we have during this course. And the industries where you can work, or some people who are going to hire you after this, is the digital marketing agencies, the IT industry, the PR industry. You can have the e-commerce companies. You can be creative writers yourself as a freelancer. Other creative writers can, group you up for doing such job. So these are very things, and there are a lot of startups, small startups, which are coming up with a very, very good potential for growth and earning, which in this industry. They are like, the startups need the content writers like for hell. They need a lot of startup content writers. So that's open to you at any moment of time. E-commerce, usually e-commerce company will hire you for copywriting. So that's more like it. And they are more interested in how would you get their services, products sold because of your writing. So it's a lot of influential work there. I'm not talking about the publishing houses and the various people who ask for individually ask for ghostwriting for their theses or technical writings and so on and so forth. I'm not talking about them at this moment, because they are not exactly jobs. They are more like a gig, independent gig that you would have for your own self. And as long as you can spread the word that I am here to write for you, they will come for you. Okay, ghostwriting jobs are usually not hired on a job basis. That's one-on-one. Mostly you get gig writings for people, and that's more like a freelancing job. And freelancers need to have their own system. And if you get into an industry, you follow the industry system. That's the only difference. You need to have a system, a discipline of writing, whichever role that you are getting into. That's for sure. Let's talk about the structure at this moment. And before I get started, let me look at some, if there is anything that is there in the chat. Okay. So Anurag is asking me, what am I doing here as a dentist? Well, I'm not doing anything here as a dentist. I'm here as a content writer. Apart from dentistry, I have completed my post-graduation in clinical research. And since when I was in my 9th standard, I used to do a lot of content writing in terms of transcription. I wanted to do, at that time, I wanted to know how does it feel like to be a doctor with a doctor. And I did a lot of transcriptions, medical writings for them. And I got so attracted about it that I never left it, because it keeps my creative yearning going on. And I kept doing it as a pastime, as a part-time, sometimes leaving it, sometimes coming back to it, and through my entire course of time. And at this moment, because we are talking about content writing, I'm leaving the research part behind and the dentistry part behind, and communicating with you as a content writer, content strategist, and a trainer of the Writing Academy of Henry Harvin. What I'm doing here is basically exploring the utmost potentials that I have. I love doing everything that I can do. There's no need to, my principle in life is no need to restrict yourself towards the degree that you have or towards one thing that you are meant to do or something like that, because you're meant to do everything in your life. We just have one life. Let's just do everything that we can. Hope that helps Anurag with the curiosity that he has. And thank you for the question. The course structure, let's get about what are you going to learn and how is the thing going to work for you. We're going to start, your course is going to start with digital content writing, where you will learn a lot about the language utilization, what does a blogger's writings expected, how is it different from the usual grammars, how to understand trends and write as per trends while maintaining the standard of your grammar. What's the difference between US English, UK English, how to use them, what is an Indian English, and how to use English in different ways, as well as when you're looking for vernacular writings if you're looking for a locales and working in vernacular Indian languages, what are the things that you have to still look forward and make the fundamentals grow. Language is never a barrier in content writing. It is an opportunity, and it is something that you need to understand that there is nothing called English or other kind of mixed up languages in content writing. You'd rather not have them. Use them if required for a service, but you at a core should be able to differentiate one language from another. As in, when you are with English, stay with English. If you are with Bengali, stay with Bengali. If you're with Tamil, Telugu, whatever, stay with that language. Be true to one language at one time is the motto of content writers. Other than that, you can use all kinds of things in the stuff that you're doing. Any kind of languages, anything that helps the trend, helps you grow is okay. But you at the core should be very, very comfortable with the languages that you are using and not mix one with another. It is not about the language. It is about the control on the language that you have. Whatever language that is, you need to control what are you speaking in. If you ask me, the way I say this to each and everyone that I meet in my life is, if you're talking in English, think in English. If you're talking in Hindi, think in Hindi. If you're talking with any other language, think in that language and say in that language. Do not think in another language and say in another language. Sometimes what we do is we're thinking in Hindi and we are speaking in English. So in between, there's a lot of fillers, there's a lot of grammar problems and everything. Because you're thinking in Hindi and then just translating it, thinking that your brain will translate and give it to you. Your brain can't if you don't think in English. You need, when you're doing content writing, you need to think in that language in which you are writing. That's it. What would it feel like to write in that language in which you are thinking? That's it. Then after writing in Hindi, you can translate that to a better English. That's okay. But whatever language you're thinking, write in that first. That's the best way to go for content writings. Okay, let's take it ahead. After digital content writing course, having a lot of that, you're going to next subject or course is going to be creative writing. Creative writing is that space where you're going to learn about how to express your creative part, how to use creativity, what are the rules behind it, what's the kind of figure of speeches, and all of that from the basics to the highest point. You're going to learn all of it, how to story tell, how to create a story out of everything, and how to express yourself in such a way that it engages each and every one who is reading your stuff. Okay, so that's going to be a creative writing. After creative writing, we're going to have technical writing as a subject, and we're going to dive into that. Technical writing talks a lot about standard procedures, how theses, writing the theses, research papers, a lot of technical documents, and how to understand a guideline, how to stick to it, how to get your work recognized by the given authorities, and so on and so forth. We are going to have a lot of that as well. Every kind of technical writing is going to be talked of. And the main plan is to have your entire time in the writing. When you are in this course, you're going to write. When something is being taught to you, when the program is being ongoing program, when you have a lesson around, when you have that class around, it's your duty as a student to be able to write as well, practice as well, do what has been asked for you from the trainer. And so that you can grow. You can understand that, and you can see what are the faults you are doing, whether you have understood what have been taught or not, and so on and so forth. There are intermittent quizzes, but writing and being able to share with the trainer what have you wrote gives you a lot more exposure than just going through a quiz. So that being said, the next thing would be about medical writing. Now you can see that after we do the basics of content writing, we go through the creative writing, then the technical writing, and then come to medical writing, because you need to have a bit of basics in the content writing zone to be able to then start with the medical writing, because it comes after the basics of content writing. It also needs the basics of medical science, a bit of medical science, to be able to understand where to put what. Okay, that itself, medical writing itself, has a very high scope in every space of healthcare industry. After that, we are going to have the sessions or the subject of digital marketing. And digital marketing would be understanding how to market the content that you have, understanding the technologies, algorithms behind the social media that happens. How does some people just have a lot of followership, and some people don't? And most importantly, to get rid of fear of missing out, and understanding that it's not the number of followers most of the time for the content writers. It is more about having good followers, genuine followers who would do what is being said by you. What do you want them to do? They do for you. That's kind of followers. That's more important as a content writer. To have a good client base is more important as a content writer. When you're looking ahead to look yourself as an influencer, digital influencer, that is where you need to then use the strategies which are meant for growing your followership. Not always is having a lot of followers is the mark in digital marketing. The mark is having followers who are genuinely your followers, who would do something that you ask them to do. Okay. And that they will support you where it's needed. Look at followership as a community. Having followers, only limited number of followers, yet having that as a close community is what is more important to each and every content writer. Now, after that, we are going to get into copywriting, which is, and as I said before, this is about having you that kind of power to influence others with your writings. That would be your second last in this program. After you have completed all of this, there's going to be capstone project, which will involve the multiple places together, multiple spaces and multiple industries together into your project. When we talk about capstone project, we are basically talking about you experiencing interning with a project given to you, you writing it and understanding where have you gone with. This is going to be with your batchmates together. You're going to work as a team and you're going to do this. It will be under the guide of your trainer. Okay, this is not the same as internship. This is an entire project that you do for the PG program. It's like the practical of the PG program. It's like the thesis that you're going to have, that, okay, we have worked on this project successfully before having this. So you're going to get certified for it. And that's the completion of your entire course, to be said. Any questions from anyone before we go ahead with the next part of this particular session? Any questions, anyone? Anyone wants to, you can use the chat or you can just speak up. Okay, Satish has a doubt. What if I do not have a good typing speed right now? No problem, Satish. First of all, it's not like you need a very high speed on, on typing speed. No, not for everything. You need a high speed. What you need more like is the good connect between what you are thinking to write and your fingers. Like you at least know where the keys are, and you are, you can do more of that. Plus, don't worry, nowadays it's more about using apps than you doing it yourself. It's going to harm a bit of your speed if you don't have a good typing speed, but that's not going to hamper your work in any way. And understand that when you become a content writer is when your speed increases. You don't first increase your speed and become a content writer. When I started off, I never knew what this is. First of all, in my 9th standard, there wasn't so much of digital writing. I was more like a manual writer. When all of this started and I grew with it, I myself never took a different typing session as such. With time, I got used to it. When I first got used to 𝐸𝐴R keyboard, which is our keyboard. At this moment, I can use other keyboards as well. There are other keyboard options which are used in other different countries, and I can use those as well. And I've just learned whatever needed to be learned for my work. And that's what is the best way of learning. And this is for Satish and everyone else. Guys, when you get into it and you have to do something, you can just learn it on the job. You don't have to be like a pro in typing. You don't have to be a pro in your language at this moment. You don't have to be a pro in anything other than being committed to yourself that you really want to do something with this career. Yes, go ahead. Someone's talking to me. Okay. Tinto, yes, tell me.
When is the next batch being started, and is there regular classes for this course?
It's regular classes for this course. Yes, online regular classes. The next batch would start, let me just check that for you. I think it starts every week. So your next class should be in the first week of January. The exact time I will let you know during this program session.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Satish. Thanks for that question. Thank you, Tinto. Thanks for that question. Anybody else? Any other questions related to what we have covered? Anything that you really want to know? Anything that you want to share? If not, I'll start with the next part of this. Yes, Shrinu, you have something?
Yes.
Is that your name, Shrinu?
I am. Sorry.
Is that your actual name, Shrinu? Is that your name?
Yeah, Shrinu. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Very exclusive name. Tell me.
Yeah, Shumana. So I want to take this content course. Content writing course. So I want to know some more detail about that course pattern and structure.
Yeah, so I told you what are the subjects that you're going to cover. We told you we're going to talk about the details of what is in it that we are going to after this talk. Anything else other than that? Because I've already covered a bit of it. I'm going to cover more about what are the exact things. And as soon as you register, you will get a complete lecture to lecture detail about what will be covered in each lecture that you're going to work. What is it that's expected to be self-study and so on and so forth. Excuse me.
Can I have some more explanation regarding copywriting?
Copywriting would be more about you having that kind of tact to use creativity to get a buyer purchase the product of your client. It's mostly work for your client. If you have copywriting skills yourself as a person, you can use your copywriting skills to even sell your service as a copywriter or as some content writer. When you have that skill, the skill is basically what we are going to work in that particular course is going to be about understanding how taglines, punchlines work, how to use a script behind that punchline to be able to influence people. What has been the history of these things? Like how has people used, what's the kind of different marketing strategies and selling strategies that are there, which can be then utilized to write what we can write to influence the purchasing ability of the buyer. That's going to be the entire thing that entire course is related about. Okay, this is more than just understanding writing. It is more like understanding the mindset of people, what clicks with people, how to use trend and how to create a trend of writing, of a punchline, or something. Okay, and how to use that, where to use that, how not to undervalue or overvalue something, but give a value to something. That's going to be something that we are going to do in there. So I have a few questions on the chat. Let me just take there. So when we are selecting, this is from Satish. So when we are selecting our one topic to become expert on it, when we'll select when we'll select an answer, how will you get in that one niche? Okay, so how this is going to happen is you get to go through, let's say that there's a tomb of Rome where there is, and you're going to be like seeing it from one window, one after the another. The expertise or the needed expertise will be given to you in each of these programs. Like after you're done with the digital content writings, you can start serving your clients as a social media manager right away. Then next, when you start off with your creative writing, you can start revising any manuscript that you have. You can even spread out the word that, okay, anybody who has a manuscript and needs it revised for it to become a best-selling book, we are here to revise it for you, to edit it for you, and so on and so forth. You can do that. Understand this, that here in content writing, when we say that you become a published author, it is not like whatever you want to write, you wanted to write your whole life, that you write it down and you just publish it and you will become a published author. No, what we are going to teach you during these programs and the expertise you're going to get is what sells, what that you write sells, how to put yourself different, completely in a different, exclusive light than the others who are there in this industry as an author. What is it that sets you aside? What is your MSUP? So when you are asking me, even Satish, and I'm sure others also have this kind of question in your heads, when am I going to select my niche? When am I going to become the expert in one niche? You select your niche after you get an idea of all of this, like how does one work with the other. So during your first course, which is a digital content writing course, you will have an overview of each of these programs, like each of these things. As a copywriter, what do you do? As an author, what do you do? As a technical writing, what do you do? So whichever thing you feel that with your skills plus with your passion, you want to have that as a niche and you want to only do that, it's very pretty much cool that you can do it during that only. You can select that okay, this is what I'm going to do. But refrain from, concentrating on a niche. After concentration, refrain from getting away from the other things. It's okay to have a niche and it's great to be an expert in that niche. For me, it is, in content writing, it is medical writing that is my niche and I'm the best in that. Cool, fine. That doesn't stop me from writing the other things or getting explored in other things. And that is more important. So, as a kid, if you guys have kids in your houses, you tell them like, you like swimming, it's okay, but doesn't mean that you don't go for sports. You have to go for other sports. You have to learn to, even as a hobby, even to painting, you also have to do this and you have to also do that. And because the more you do, the more exposure you get. So yes, you're going to get your niche by the time you have completed your very first course with us or the first subject with us, and you can master on it at the time when that particular subject is being talked of. You can have everything that is needed for your support as well during the program, because the program has been set in such a way that you complete one subject and you have some time to develop the background of it and set yourself towards that as a career. Now, we all need, like I'm talking this on behalf of Henry Harvin as well as on behalf of me, is that if you are here, all we are asking you to do is have commitment towards this program. Nothing else than that. Other things, we have designed it in such a way, the program has been designed in such a way that you have a break in between to develop that particular subject's niche that has been taught to you, develop your background for it, practice it during and in the middle time, and get in touch with your trainer and get the feedback so that you can develop your career with this program, along with this program, not after it, along with this program. Okay, so Nazia tells me, please Hindi, in Hindi. This session is in English, so I'm sticking to that English language. If you have particularly any questions that you're not understanding, you can unmute yourself and ask, and I can converse with you in Hindi for that particular thing. Is my English too hard to understand for everyone? Is okay? Do I need to make it more simpler? If we're going to talk about the course fees at the end of this conversation, Arfin, thank you. Nazia, do you have a particular doubt that you did not understand? You need to ask me. You can. Okay, I don't see her anymore in the call. Henry Harvin, Team Henry Harvin, please connect with her. It seems she's having an issue with the language. Okay. Let's take the conversation ahead for today, because thank you, Sadesh, for confirming that. Okay, that my language is simple for everyone. Thanks so much for sharing that with me. Thank you. Okay, so let's take it a bit ahead in complete today's session. We have been okay. So when we just had a course a while ago from someone, what's the overview of this thing? These are the few things that we are going to go through in multiple places, in multiple stuffs. You're going to have grammar check, how to place your punctuations, how to have sentence fragments, all language skills, how to not mix up the spellings, what are the various spelling errors that you have, what are the misunderstood words and phrases, how is the use of Latin words in English, how to understand them, how to manipulate them, how to create a new vocabulary for you, how to use unique vocabularies for yourself by using the Latin words in English. We're going to talk a lot about the differences between British English and American English. One of it is the use of ISE and IZE. It can also be the use of OUR versus OR. So British English versus American English is going to be talked of a lot, and as a very basics. We're going to also talk a lot about during the program. We're going to have sessions on writing a catchy headline, choosing a voice, establishing your tone, and establishing your own writing style. What are the different kinds of writing styles, and which one do you want to write in? So writing styles is your individual subjective choice. But before even that, you need to understand the basics of each and every style. So you can take the style which is comfortable, which is good, as well as can give you a lot of earnings. So you don't rush, you don't get into FOMO or the fear of missing out, but you understand the basics of styles, and then you choose, okay, this is what I want to do because I can see that I'm good at this. So this comes with the combination of the knowledge and the practice and exposing yourself, having pilot ways of seeing, write something, write a blog in that style and see how much of your people are getting attracted, what's happening in there. Share it with the trainer and let them give you that kind of, exposure or a feedback of how is it written and whether that writing style suits what you are trying to write. We're going to we're going to look at searchabilities. We're going to have a lot of, a strong section in both digital writing course, digital content writing course, as well as copywriting course and the digital marketing course. We're going to have a lot of these of the how to understand the entire Google world, to understand the other search engine optimization tools, to understand what is the difference between optimization, search engine optimization and search engine management. What is it that it makes it different, and what is meta search, and so on and so forth? There's going to be a lot of that. We're going to talk a bit about metacognition as well when we get into copywriting. Metacognition is about understanding how to use different search engines and use different platforms with a tweak and give out only one message but spread it like a viral everywhere. So all of that we are going to cover. Now we are going to cover it means we are going to talk about it. It's on you to utilize it as well. So you're going to learn it, but if you don't use it as well at that time, it might be something that only stays in your head and you don't do it. Now this is not a scheme that we're going to talk to you about. These are genuine theories which works behind the camera of social media, like what drives social media. We're just going to get into those. Okay. What are the keywords and how to research them and how to get your keywords into place, how to use them, what part of your work uses them, and why in different kinds of papers and different kinds of contents, where and how to use those keywords. There's a myth that you take the keywords from a given portal, you just search in your Google what are the keywords for this, you take it and then use it in the very first 1 or 2 sentences and you won the game. No, that's a myth. That's not what happens. First of all, you do not depend on a particular site for your keywords. That site is not genuine. That site is telling what that site needs. A very easy way of tracking that. I'm sure all of you have Instagram or been in Instagram, and there are Instagram trending hashtags that you see in Google. You can put in there what is a trending hashtag but this particular keyword, and they'll give you a lot of keyword hashtags. In that you will see the tags which makes no sense, like BSHGH or FNTRRVS. This makes no sense, but they are trackers. They are for the good of that particular site from which you have taken the hashtag. And the others are also, there are many such other hashtags which are for their own good, not your good. So having understanding and being independent of those is very important. This is the reason that we take these in this program, to give you the difference between what is a myth and what actually works, and who are the people who actually controls it. And as a copywriter, it's important that you don't get into the fear of missing out, but you understand what's the basic behind it and be able to optimize your search engine. Now, search optimization is not about hashtag. It is about whenever anybody is asking, I'll give you an example. Let's say Naina Rajput here in this program wants to become, have selected the niche as that they really want to become a copywriter. She has selected it. I want to become a copywriter and that's it. Now, I don't know for which client or what, but I want to become a copywriter. Now, search engine optimization is understanding how to place yourself digitally with what words, so that anybody who goes to Google and searches, I need a copywriter, gets a Naina Rajput at the very beginning of it, like the first thing there. After the ads, the first search will be that. The other way of seeing this is also, let's say as I'm Dr. Shumana, and I want that whenever anybody puts in Shumana Chakravarti or Dr. Shumana Chakravarti, I should be the one that they are seeing, not the other Shumana Chakravartis in the world, but me. The optimum way of going about it is the very first one in all the Shumana Chakravartis of the world. That's the best thing. That's like the optimum way of seeing it. At least at the first page of Google is the very first fundamental to look at it. Okay. And then strategizing the contents that I give out in such a way that it gets me there. That's search engine optimization. There are many people who have this belief in themselves that using hashtags is search engine optimization. Get out of that. That's a myth. How you place yourself in Google is your search engine optimization. Your work and your own self. Your work as well as your own self. How is it placed in Google? Because nobody goes to the second page of Google ever. They only check the first page. You get everything on the first page. That's it. To come up with things that will get you to the first page. That's it. and the first one also at the same time. Okay, other things that we are going to work on in the niche of the contents that we had a question here a while ago, so let me just give that as well to you. What are the niches that you can go for? You can become an informal form of writing or a creative writer completely. You can be a article, a blog writer. That can be something that is your content niche. Academic writing, technical writing, any of these can be. Medical writing can be. Only copywriting can be. SEO writing can be your niche as well. You can only write, you can only kind of supervise and write, tweak the contents of your clients to make it SEO optimized. That's it, search engine optimized. That's it, can be your niche. And you can be a branding content writer. Now, branding content writers mixes up copywriting, creative writing, as well as digital content writing together to make a brand for someone, create a brand for the other person or for themselves together. Now, you don't always have to be a brand yourselves to make another person brand. You might just have the knowledge about it, the experience about it, and you can help another person become a brand and earn from it. That's an easier way of going than you becoming a brand, because your clients will see you as a brand. Like, it's more like an influencing job. You're doing the influencing on behalf of your client, and that's it. Okay, the other thing is your content marketing that we are going to talk about. You're going to define your niche yourself during this particular program, and you're going to have a strategy. You're going to choose it. You're going to discuss with people, discuss with the trainer what is going to be a strategy, what is it going to, how are you going to define your niche, and then you're going to choose your which content is it that you need to work on. There's something called a topical and something called a strategic content. Topical content is topic wise. I'm only going to write on this particular topic. Strategic content means it has a long-term plan of selling something or creating a brand or increasing your followership, so on and so forth. That's called a strategic content. Most of the times you are doing both of them together, but there's a classic difference between the two, and that needs to be kind of clarified during the content marketing program. Apart from that, demand generation and fulfillment is something that you're going to learn. You're going to actually go through it, work on it during the program. You're going to build, you will have the opportunity to build your own personal brand, obviously, right, and earn from it as well. Now, we are going to talk a lot about having power writing. Power writing means where you are, you write only a few words and they are powerful, influential, and gives you results right away. And don't write dead weight. And when I say dead weight, it's those writings which you want to express, but they are not going to help you. They are not going to give that kind of results which are required. So what are the redundant phrases which it doesn't need to happen, stay in your content, in your blogs? What are the kind of dead weights that you are carrying in your writings? We're going to look at that. We're going to help you get out of that. How are you writing, how are you writing in your passive voice and it's getting a passivity from the audience as well? When you write in active voice, that's when your readers also get into the active mode and take actions. When you write in passive voice, people take it very relaxingly and don't take an action on your thing. Like, don't like it, they don't comment on it because it's a passive, it's a very relaxed voice. An active voice is important for power writing. Whatever language it is, it has to be consistent. Here it talks about consistent English because we are doing this in English, but it doesn't have to be always English. Whatever the language is, the consistency is important. Now, if you are a person who is looking for multiple language writings, do not have the same blog site for all those. Keep your Hindi in the other blog site and keep English in other space, Marathi in other space, Bengali in other space, so on and so forth. Do not mix up languages in one blog site or your one article or your one space where they see you. Okay, do not mix up, please. That's the worst thing that you can do for yourself. Because then they're going to think like, okay, they're going to cut off. Your readers are going to cut off from you. They will find inconsistency in the things that you're writing. That's it. You need, for a power writing, you need a lot of consistency. And you need to have a writing fluency. You need to know how much can you write in a day, in a week, how much. And not by straining yourself, but how much can you do it casually with responsibility and with commitment? How much can you write? How many words? Because that understanding, when you have this understanding, is when you can understand how are you going to handle your projects, how are you going to handle the commitments that you have. So you do not need a boss over you anymore. So you can work from home and you can take your projects whenever you want and leave whenever you want, because you know how much time do you have. In a messy situation at home, how many words can you write? When you're relaxed, how many words can you write? Accept them, then increase the number of words and commit to that only that you can do, to your clients, to everyone. Never overcommit. Rather undercommit sometimes, and you'll deliver over, and that will be fine for you, but never ever overcommit. Okay. Now, the next part of this is the capstone projects. For this, you're going to have a lot of in the projects. You're going to have assignments on content, general content writing, where you will develop the skills for your writing skills, your speeds, your betterments of how you're writing, and so on and so forth. You will write these as a part of your weekly assignments, and as well as during the capstone projects times, you are going to have separate ones which will mix up with, your talent will be looked at from the point of view of SEO or creativity as well. It's going to start in the weekly assignments, even some of them during the courses that you are doing, most of it during the capstone project. These can be in a team, these can be individual writings, and these will be assigned to you, and it's mostly a week that you get for completing each of your assignments. SEO writings will be something that you would work, how to create that content for website, for your own self, for your client, how to get it ranked in Google, how effectively can you do for each of the writing article that you're writing. In these assignments, you will actually get a lot of ability and opportunity to develop your SEO content writing skills, as in how to use this. So now understand this. From day one itself, you cannot first go through the optimization and know all of that and then write. No, because you first need to be a relaxed writer, a person for which writing is not a stress anymore. You can just write whatever is given to you. Then only you can inculcate the ranking things in it, the SEOs things in it. Unless you have that, you won't be able to do it. Unless you are a relaxed content writer, you do not get the ability to actually inculcate the knowledge of SEO optimization into your writings. And hence, the very important is to keep writing first and then inculcate the SEO writings in it.
Your device has lost connection to the internet. Please try again a bit later.
I'm sorry for that. So the next thing would be about creative writing. Now, when you have had these basics done, you can then have a lot of projects which would be multi-modal projects, poetries, dramas, proses. You can have together, people writing it together, or you can have one person is a writer, another is the editor, another is content creator for social media, and you can have that entire thing projected of releasing a book, releasing a film, releasing whatever you want to do out of it. I mean, it's a film also, doesn't matter, but writing about it, writing the scripts, understanding a plot, brainstorming on plots, and so on and so forth will happen, and you will be able to understand the life of a creative writer completely. Now, when you select your niche, let's say you are at a niche of you select your niche to be about copywriting only. And when all this creative writing, multimodal things happen, you are like, why should I do this? This is not going to help me. Don't do that. I have seen this in some of my learners, and hence I'm putting it up in the day one in this demo session in this webinar itself. Guys, You need to have basics of everything. You need to understand what is the life of a creative writer, even if you're doing a technical writing, because you might be working with those people later on, plus having the basic knowledge, understanding their lifestyle, how this multimodal work happens. You then become far more mature as a content writer when you understand. When this happened with me, when I understood what happens when you actually become a digital influencer or you become a script writer, what exactly happens to you? What is the kind of editing issues that come? What do you need to take care of while writing for someone's film or something which is a fiction? What are the things that you really need to understand? I did this project for someone where he had something in his mind and he just wanted a fictional story out of it. And when my client first talked to me about this, I was so upset because he himself didn't know what he wants to write. And he was like talking to me a lot and he was like, I want to write about this, but he had no idea what he actually wants to write. And when I confronted him that, you're not giving me any direct idea of what exactly are you looking forward to write in that fictional book. You're just saying this is something that I might do, that is something I might do, this is something might I do. So many ideas, but you're not yet clear about what are you going to do. He just said, I don't know, you think about it and tell me. And I was like, okay, I'm also the thinker. When I need to think and tell you. And then he said, I want something which will sell. Like, you can give me whatever that sells. And that's the kind of client you're going to get. And at that time, it is very important. And I was not working with him as a creative writer at all. I was working with him as a digital social media manager. I was working with him as a social media manager. And because he was not clear about what is the story, what is exactly the idea, and what is exactly plot of the creative writing that he wants to write, my entire assignment was being affected by it because I didn't know what to promote. If I don't know what is his idea all about, I don't know what to promote in his social media or how to place him properly. So it affected me so much. I had to then actually become his editor for a while. And I told that, can you give me your manuscript and I'll edit it for you, and so I'll get an idea of what are you writing and how to make that a bestseller first, and then with that I'll continue being your social media manager. So that can happen with you as well. It can be something that you can face as a real-time situation. You guys can also face this. You're going to face this here and there because our clients don't know the differentiating factors. You're the one who would know it after completing your course here, but your clients don't, the general public don't, and we can't expect them to know as well. Okay, we need to be flexible with them and then work for them as a content writer, because we are giving words to their thoughts, and it's important that we do it very responsibly. So for getting started with this, and before I go there, let me again ask if anybody has a question. I know this was supposed to be a 1 hour, but we were talking a lot and it was good interaction overall. I'll take another 10 minutes only to give you how can you get started with Henry Harvin. The rest of it is done. So we can have this session. And apart from whatever we're going to discuss now, you can have individual talks with the person who has registered you here. If you have not given your attendance, please give your attendance with the link in the chat so that somebody from Henry Harvin can talk to you one-on-one and give you the insights that you want. Yes, Shrinu, tell me, you have a question?
Hi, Shumana. So my requirement is I want to write articles and blogs, as well digital content, digital technical writing. So what is the best course in content writing? Is it okay to take the course content writing in whole course, or it is better to take specifically for article writing or the digital technical writing?
So you're looking at having a freelance job after that?
No, Sumna,
or you're looking
I am a UX designer. So
okay.
I want to write pain points and product issues, bugs in through social networks.
Oh, okay. For you, what I would say is you might consider even looking at only content writing, digital content writing course, only that subject. You might, But at the same time, I can also say that if you're doing the entire PG course, what will happen for you is you'll not only be able to write for the specific thing that you are saying that you need to write at this moment and see as a thing, you can also grow it to serve other clients and make it your part-time income. So what exactly are you looking at your future, not only your present short-term future, but a long-term future? You can look at it, because I have seen many people who have opted for one of it, and then after doing that has again opted for another and another and another, and actually completed all those 7-8 subjects differently, which is going to be like a split scattered thing for you. Instead, if you just take the entire PG program, it will give you the insight of everything, expertise of everything. Now then you can choose which one do you want to do now, which one of you want to do it later, but you'll have the content and the expertise of each and everything at one go. Also depends upon the time that you can give to this program. So it would be a very good thing if you discuss this individually with the person who contacts you from Henry Harvin, because that person will be able to communicate with you with the time commitment that you can give and what is happening and so on and so forth. But yeah, what you said, I hope my answer helped you with what your question.
Yes, Shumana, PG content program means?
The PG content program is this, what we are talking about right now, having all of it together with the postgraduate degree attached to it with the project and everything. So you have like a standard course and with the degree with it, so you can prove it to anyone as a credibility that you have completed the entire thing and you're open for each type of things that you can do. So now as a designer, when you say that I want to talk about these and this, what is your credibility behind it? Why are you even talking? You have your career to say that okay, I have been in this career, and hence now when you then go, okay, I'm done with this, I'm doing this, but that's not enough. There it can be that you really want to help some authors become bestsellers, or you want to help someone write what they want to write, or you want to help a digital influencer grow as an influencer and earn yourself, earn from it, manage somebody else's social media calendar and earn from it as a pocket money. So what is the credibility behind it? This particular program's degree will be a credibility behind anything that you want to do. So Satish has a question here, which, ma'am, what may be the placement support and payment if you got the initial? The placement support comes during the program, and during your capstone, your entire project and stuff will be used and by Henry Harvin, and you will be placed in the industry by Henry Harvin as a person who can do this. Your assignments, your capstone projects will become your resume, and you'll be given 100% support into your placements. What's the kind of money that you can earn? Industry gives a fresher standard money which you can get from Google. That's expected for you as well. At the same time, it will depend on your individual ability to grasp more than that from the industry. Let me put it this way: while I cannot kind of commit to you a number at this moment, when you show your commitment towards this program and practice, and you know what you really want, what exactly you are here for, you get what is happening here totally. Okay. Yes, I'm letting you know the program's fees in a bit, just a bit. Let me just open that up. That's the last thing that we need to discuss, and I was going at that before this. Okay. Okay, this is an offer for you, including all your training fees, training fees, your PACE programs, your entire project, certification, all the access to you have your multiple unlimited access to multiple trainers, not only the person who's taking your program, but all other trainers. You can have you can have different trainers taking different things and their access. Your job guarantee, the LMS access and everything. Nana, yes, Nana. Yes, Nana. Let me just complete, Nana. Just one sec. I'll talk to you. Just a minute. Okay. What do you get? Your fees comes down to 109,500 INR. That's your fees. You can have a connect with the person who has contacted you via your, from Henry Harvin to talk on this. How are you going to pay this, or what's the way of paying, and so on and so forth. What's deposit, what full amount, how is it? That's individually for you guys to work on. I'm not going to get into that. What I'm going to talk to you here is understand the value that you're getting, the degree that you're getting, and the kind of support that you're getting throughout your entire program through this. And I look forward to welcome all of you guys through to this program with us. If you need any, sorry, yes, I'll bring you new questions before. Let's take in your questions. Yes, your questions, anyone? I think there was a question from.
Yeah,
yes,
ma'am. I have heard that for the different fields of content writing, different tools are being used, and some companies and clients, they ask us to use the particular tool to complete the task. So if I'm working as a freelancer, how that can be maintained?
Yeah, I work as a freelancer. So what I do basically is when I have the basic tools for everything, basic ones, non-paid basic ones, and I know how to use some of the tools for some of the things. Now, for the advanced specific tools from my clients, I always tell them that I know the basics of these tools, but if you want me to do only via these tools, I will need a on-job support from you because I'm a freelancer. And that comes very well with them because understand that we have our own system as a freelancer. As I said to you before, if you're working as a freelancer, you need to have the basic tools yourself. You should have something or the other, a paid one, non-paid one, but a basic of everything. You should be aware of how to use those tools, basic ones. And now, the one specific ones on job, they will give you a training for it. The client specific ones. We are going to, in this program, you're going to learn the basic ones, very basics. That this can be, this is used, this is used, this is used, this is used. But the basic ones only, not client specific ones. When you work with clients, they train you on the tools for a few days and then you start working on it.
Oh, okay, ma'am. Okay.
Cool. Thank you for that question.
Can
Any
I
other
have
question?
some examples of tools?
Grammarly is one of them. Plagiarism Checker is another. A complete content writing tool, Scholarly or Scholastics can be one of them. Scholastic, Scholarly is a few things which automatically write or put it. There's something called 𝐷𝐸𝐴. 𝐷𝐸𝐴 is a tool which automatically writes your medical writing. So these are few tools which you can explore. 𝐷𝐸𝐴 might not get like directly on port, but the others you will get on Google and you can look through it. Grammarly is a very easy one to use and must be used mostly for your grammar skills and stuff. It also takes care of a plagiarism. Plagiarism Checker is another plagiarism thing. Takes care of a plagiarism in the sense not only you, but when your client gives you the basic data and asks you to write on it, you might first go through plagiarism checker to check what is happening there before you get even started with the project. These are some. There are many more such things. And that industry is totally growing. We call it edutech, which is creating more and more content options for us. You might as well go through the very basic non-paid free version, but very easily available is Meta Business Suite. That combines your Facebook and your Instagram together, and what you post in Facebook and also go in Instagram. Now, if you guys are thinking I can only check on one of the space and it will do that for me, yes, it will, but that for commoners. As a content writer, you can edit the hashtags, one for here, one for there, or change the keywords here and there, but give the same content to both the spaces at the same time when you are doing it via Meta Business Suite. So you might as well check that at least that out as a writing tool. That's a very good writing tool itself. Hope that helps you guys.
Yeah,
thank you. Thank you. Alka, you have a question?
Yes, hi, Sumana. See, I'm already a content writer. I have worked as full-time content writer. I have 3 years experience nearly.
Okay.
But my question is, if it's this course is giving us, this is a PG course, right? And if this is giving us 100% job placement, so may I know what will be the pay range for PG course students? They are already working. They are already having experience. And for just, if I would like to move for this course, that is for just to be more professional or to be more perfect in my content writing. So I just want to know if there's a job placement, so what will be the pay range for that, those candidates who will be completing this course?
As I said, a fresher or a experience, the Google will give you the what's the pay rates, and it will be the same as that. The industry rates will get that for that, because we are not people who do campus recruitments here itself. We give you the support, as in where to go for it, how to go for it, what is the way of getting you better, how to put in your resume, what are the words that goes as a content writer in your resume, which will give you the best exposure, and also what is it that will pay you high, even if that's not what you exactly want in your niche, but will pay you high at this moment. That kind of guidance, career guidance, that, okay, now let's say, Alka, at this moment I'm talking to you, so I'm just referring as you. If there are other people who are, as not freshers in here, that's for you guys as well. Said you have 3 years experience, and I'm sure you're here because one of the main reasons you're here is because you're not being paid as much as you think you must be paid. You're not earning as much as you think your hard work is. And that's what is a trick that is going to happen during this program. You're going to understand what is it happening that you're giving the hard work, but you're not being paid at that level. Where's the value difference? And then you will be able to standardize it. Now, what happens in most of the times in this industry is it is destroyed by the people who are in the industry. I'll give you a very simple example. In Facebook groups, there are multiple groups who will give you that they want to write the blogs for you, like for 1 paisa per word and so on and so forth. So those people are destroying this industry. They're completely destroying this industry. And Henry Harvin will give you that kind of base where you can value your work and ask for complete 1 rupee, 2 rupee, 3 rupees from people per word for the work that you're doing, because it's Alka who is writing for them. It's not a crap Tom and Dick writing for them. So don't let the people who are destroying this industry influence you. Let the people who don't do that and influence you. And I'm putting myself here as one of the person. I have had many people telling me, if you do my work for like 10 paisa per word or 30 paisa per word, I'm going to give it to you. And I said, please take somebody else, because Dr. Shimano is not meant for that. I've never gone for such idiotic things as a fresher, as an experienced person, never gone for that. I've never allowed any of my mentees to go for that as well. And touch wood, I can say one thing for sure, as my own, it's not something that I'm bragging on. It's my pride, rather, that me and my mentees have worked really pretty well and got our hard-earned money. Like, whenever we work hard on something, we get that kind of money. We tell them directly, you want to work with us, work with the rate that I'm asking you to do. Once I deliver my work to you, you will know why are you paying me that kind of money. And when you understand that value, I'm sure you're not going to ever want to go. And that's what has happened with my clients always. They have written with me ever since. Every time I till now have a client who's with me since last 6 years. And all she does is she cramps. She says, give me another one, give me another one. This is not enough. Give me another one. But she again comes back to me. The reason is because she knows that what she wants, I'll give it to her. Multiple revisions is not a problem for me. I look forward to them. I as a content writer, it's not really that your goal is not to give the perfect work. It's for you to understand your client and give them what they need. And be patient enough to understand what is their revisions. And there are multiple clients who would come to you, Alka, I hope you can relate to that. There are multiple clients who won't tell you what they want in the very first time. You give them, and then the revision, they finally tell you what they want. Again, in the next revision, tell you what they want. It's not we at error. It's mostly like they don't know what they want. And being patient with them, being able to tackle their revisions is the skill that we give as a content writer. That's the professionalism all about. In every field of content writing. And hence that money, per word money, is not about writing it. It's not the word count. It is what do I have in here to give the value to the words that I write for you. What's the kind of value you are going to have because of the writings that I've given to you? And that's the attitude you're going to learn here, apply here, and hence you will get a lot of more than the others. Now, during this program, Alka, I would also ask you to look at it as a contribution and learning for yourself to even contribute towards your fellow other people. So more you share your knowledge, more you share about things, not from the point of view of checking on the trainer, but from the point of view of collaborating with the trainer and being able to give out optimal, will help you revise yourself, sharpen your skills, get better at it, better and better at it. Yeah. And that's something that I would look forward from you when you are in this program. Good?
Fine. Okay,
Pretty
sounds
much.
good. Thanks.
Cool, fine. Thank you so much, everyone. That's it from me. And I hope you get in this program, this entire webinar added some value to you. If you have any other questions, you can connect with the person who is, connecting with you via Henry Harvin. If you hope you have all given your attendance, because that's going to help you guys track it. I'll say a goodbye to all of you at this moment, but I also look forward to connect with you during the program and welcome you to the program. All the best to each and everyone. Connect with you soon. Bye-bye. Have a nice day.